Hey, y'all. Welcome to Late Night with Bridget and Holly. I'm your host, Bridget.
And I'm your host, Holly.
And y'all, tonight we're going to be talking about Gypsy Rose Confessions. Okay, so we've been watching this for the last few nights now. It was a little short series that was on. It came on Lifetime. And we've been watching this and we're very interested in it. Me and Holly do not discuss these things before we get on the podcast, just to let y'all know. Okay, so Holly, I'm gonna let you start off. What did you think? But wait, before we get started with that, y'all don't forget to subscribe. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're on every podcast channel, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, all those. And so y'all hit us up there. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Holly.
And if there's one that we are not on, let me, Bridget, know, and we'll make sure we get on it.
That's right.
Okay, so of course, me and you both have been following this since 2015, and it has intrigued us both. Now, I got to say, and I know we're going to touch bases on different things. I thoroughly and highly enjoyed this little mini series that Lifetime had, and nobody has really heard her side of the story. You know, we just saw it on the news and what come out and things like that. And I'm totally a Gypsy fan. Now, I will say, do I think she deserved to go to jail? I do, but not for as long as she did, because this is how I look at it. The abuse that she got from her mom, to me, is the same as domestic violence. And I'm not trying to, piss somebody off when I say this, but when it comes to domestic violence and you're trying to save your life and get away with the situation, and you're in harm's way, you're going to try and protect yourself if you can. And you will see people who will get off on murders like that because they were abused. And Gypsy was abused. Now, I feel like for her jail time, I mean, she said on the documentary that she thought that, the time that she got was well served and that she agreed with her punishment. But I feel like she shouldn't have got as many years because of what she went through. I feel like she should have, I feel like maybe a year, maybe 2 years, but in those 2 years, they should have got her extensive therapy, because Dee Dee put her through pure hell. And you hear a lot of people say, well, God, why didn't you just tell? Why didn't you tell? You had your chance with the doctor. You had your chance with the girl at the movie theater. You had your chance with this person and that person. But I don't think what people realize is it's easy for somebody not in that situation to say that. But I literally sat here today and I was like, dang, if that was me and that was my mom, I love my mom. And even though you're afraid and don't understand the things that she's doing, you still love your mom. And you know, if you tell on her, that's going to get taken away from you. So I understand why she was scared to speak up about it, because from her thoughts, what her mom told her dad didn't want her. He didn't care about her. There was nobody around to take care of her but her mom. So then she's got that wondering in her head, well, God, if I tell my mom and she gets taken away, then who's going to take care of me? So I feel like, she shouldn't have got as much time, but I think she's grown and learned from it. Like, what do you think about her time spent in there?
Well, wow. When I watched this, it's changed my mind just a little bit. And the reason I tell you that is because, like I told you, I read between the lines. And it's no fault of her own. So let me start out by saying this. It's no fault of her own. But I'm very concerned about her.
I am too.
And very concerned. And the reason I tell you this is because she went through 20 some years, because I think she was 23 when her mom died. They killed her mom.
Yeah, because she found out when she was 19. She was supposed to be 15, that she was really 19. Yeah, so the next 3 years after that was like even more torture and hell and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So she was 23 when this happened. So here's where my concern is. I watched her in this series, and I believe she's became equally manipulative, equally sneaky, and I'm really concerned if she don't get some extensive therapy, she's going to become her mother. Not necessarily with the Munchausens. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about manipulating people.
And lying so
You
good.
Yeah, lying so good and
Mm-hmm.
using people so good. Now that might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna tell you why I caught a few things on this show. Number one, um, she said, I got to go in front of the parole board tomorrow, and I really don't know how to act. I don't know whether to act innocent or act like I'm totally reformed. Well,
Mm-hmm.
don't act. Just be yourself.
Be yourself.
But she has been putting on an act her entire life. And here's my other concern is I know she was coached by her mom. Again, no fault of her own. But the whole time she was growing up, she had to pretend she was crippled, pretend she was in a
Mm-hmm.
wheelchair. She had to put on this whole show with her mom. And if you'd ever watch her, she was acting the part. She was going with it. You know what I'm saying?
To
Like
a
waving at people.
T.
Yeah. And so my thing is, and I know she was doing that to satisfy her mom, don't get me wrong. But meanwhile, she was being taught to be extremely manipulative. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that she's going to carry that behavior on out into the world. And I really worry because now that she's gotten out, just like you said, her TikTok now has 8 million followers just since
Just
the
like
end of
that.
December. Yes. And she's going to be she's famous, not for the right reasons, but she's famous all of a sudden. So she's went from being harbored by her mom in jail, come out married, and then all of a sudden she's thrown into this world where she's known and loved and famous and all this stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried that she's going to use that to her advantage and use a lot of people and manipulate a lot of people and end up really in a bad place, is what I'm afraid of.
And see, I agree with you on that because even like I caught onto that too, what you said about going in front of the parole board,
Mm-hmm.
and even little things too, like how she would call her stepmom up and oh, I need like $50 because I broke the CD player, and then she waited a year to tell her.
Mm-hmm.
And I get everybody is old poor Gypsy because it is so fucked up
Mm-hmm.
what her mama did to her, and
Mm-hmm.
it sucks because you can't blame her if she ends up being that way because that's all she knew, because she
Right.
went straight from that relationship to boom in jail. So
Right.
she had no mother figure, no father figure to teach her that. She even stated on the documentary that she didn't get as much therapy as she would like,
Right.
and then Ryan got them, both therapists and stuff. But I feel like my vision that I see that is going to happen with her is now that she's out and she's finding herself,
Mm-hmm.
she's I really don't think that her and Ryan is going to be together for too long, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anything in a bad way, but Gypsy she's a beautiful girl. She's really, really pretty. After she got from up under her mama and all those, pills and medicines and then surgeries and all that,
Mm-hmm.
she did bounce back from it, and she's a gorgeous girl. And I don't think the relationship with them two is going to last, because once she gets out there, well, she is out there, but once she gets going, she's going to have all kind of people hitting on her, and she's going to
Mm-hmm.
see that she's probably going to have more money than what she knows to
Mm-hmm.
do with, because when that documentary ended, it said this will continue.
Mm-hmm.
You got 2020, you got 48 Hour Mysteries, you got Dateline, you got Good Morning America. Like, all these shows are just going to be
Mm-hmm.
grab,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she ain't gonna do it for a small amount.
Right.
She's gonna make some money, and I
Right.
just don't think that that's gonna go well with the two of them, because she's gonna see that the grass might be a little bit greener on the side, and there's
Mm-hmm.
more fish to choose from.
Yeah.
And I want to discuss him because there's an age gap. He is what, 36, and
Mm-hmm.
she is, is she 34? now, or
30 or 34,
yeah,
33. I
like
don't remember.
32, 34, something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Listen to their phone calls that they played from him talking in prison.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of does seem controlling, and I think that he knows he can be that way with her because of how her mom
Mm-hmm.
was with her and stuff. So I think he knows the right things to say to her
Mm-hmm.
to trigger her back into that little fetal position of being a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, there's something about him that just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
like how he was controlling with her and things like that. And I don't think that they should have jumped in to getting married in prison because she doesn't know what it's like living with a man. She doesn't
Mm-hmm.
know what it's like being married. She's only dated 3 times, and
Mm-hmm.
2 of them was in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I think if he loved her and truly cared about her mental stability, that he wouldn't have pressured her to get married that quick. That he would
Mm-hmm.
have said, "Okay, you know what, Gypsy, I love you and you love me. Let's see how this works outside of prison. We
Mm-hmm.
could stay engaged, but let's live together for a little while. Let's see if we truly are compatible on the
Mm-hmm.
outside of these walls
Mm-hmm.
to see if we should get married."
Right.
Like, I feel like he just, because if you remember in the beginning of it, he was like, him and his friend was, oh, I'll write this person and I'm gonna write Gypsy Rose. So already right there, he was already obsessed with it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a little obsessed with her, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I think so too. I think he's doing it for the fame himself and
Yes,
for the
the publicity
notoriety.
of it.
I think he's doing it for the fame and the notoriety. Do I think he genuinely cares about her? I do, but I think it's for the wrong reasons. I think it's
Hmm.
because he's not, I mean, he looks like a nice guy, but I don't think he's all that much of an attractive guy.
Not
And
at all.
I think he has had difficulties finding females outside of prison, and I think
Hmm.
that he thought she would be an easy catch, you know what I'm saying? And that
Easy
it would serve,
target.
yeah, easy catch and easy target, right? It would serve his purpose. And so I feel like that's the reason he latched onto her. And I'm like you, I feel like he wanted to get married to her before she got out of prison so he would have some kind of lock on her because he knew that she
Yes,
was wanted. But I think she still loved that other guy that she
I do
hooked up with
too.
in prison. I
I
think she
think
still.
yes, I'm in exact agreement with you on that, and I think that there's something that's gonna happen with that now that she is out. Because what was his name? Dan, I think
Mm,
was his name,
I
I
don't.
believe.
I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he wants her back. I think he likes her as a person and stuff, but I don't think he wants all that.
Yeah, and he
Mm-hmm.
may not, but you can tell that like her feelings are over
Mm-hmm.
with him, and the fact that that Ryan would even get in a relationship with her, knowing that Gypsy still loves this man.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
what? I don't know if his name was it Dan. I know Dan was the guy I think she dated. That was the older guy from the Comic Con. I think that's who Dan was. God, I can't. They just said his name. I can't. It's a short name, but anyway. Um. Yeah. I don't know if he knew that, knowing that she still loved this guy. He shouldn't have been in a relationship to begin with. He should let her have time to heal over that because she was talking about them at the same time. So,
Mm-hmm.
and did you notice? Did you notice in that documentary? And I may be wrong, but I swear I thought she said she broke up with him in one of the episodes that she ended it, and then in this last episode, he ended it with her.
I didn't pay attention to that. Uh-uh.
I almost want to go back and rewatch it just to listen, but I thought she had said that,
Mm-hmm.
but I could be wrong.
Like
But
I said, I'm real concerned. I don't know that I would, if I was any guy, that I'd try to get in a relationship with her because I think,
mm-mm,
did you hear Ryan saying like she name called him and she did this? She's going to be abusive. She's going because
yeah.
that's all she's ever known, and
Oh,
she
well,
hasn't.
there's. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And she hasn't had the correct therapy for it. And
Mm-mm.
so I think she's going to be an abusive person outside of prison. And like I said, the more notoriety and the more fame, the more she feels like she's put on a pedestal. And I feel like I really feel like it's going to be a downward spiral for her. You're going to see her name in the headlines a lot more, and not just for the good stuff. I think you're going to see some bad stuff.
I think it's possible she could relapse
Mm-hmm.
and go back on pills or drugs or whatever. But you already see there's already drama on Instagram. Apparently, there's females hitting up Ryan's inbox and DM, and her response coming back is, "Oh, that's my D. That's
Mhm.
my, that's
Mhm.
my D. That's
Mm.
and
Mhm.
you just got out of jail. There's better ways of handling that
Mhm.
than to saying that's my,
Yeah,
like
I don't think she's as innocent. I mean, I like her. I feel bad for her. I feel horrible for what she's been through. But I think she's became through her mother doing what she's done. I think she's become somebody who's probably not as likable as we want to think. And
yeah,
the reason I say that is because, just like you said, you see that the way she last bashed that's my D. And I think like they had that video of her going into her mama's bed and doing that stabbing motion. And
yeah,
I think she has zero remorse because when she was crying about her mama being dead, you know what I'm saying? Like when she was sitting there saying she didn't have to die, it was so fake. That was fake tears, fake
yeah.
tears.
It
And
was, and
when I realized she was a hell of an actress was when they had her in the police interrogation room and he had told her that Nick whatever told her, he said just pretend, just say that I come to you, your mom threw you out and I came to get you and I was going to take you back to Wisconsin. And when she's sitting there and the cop said, well, I just want to let you know your mom is dead, and she goes, what
and
what
she's
and
like,
she
wait,
started
what?
crying. Yeah, I was like, ooh, she's a
She
better
is a
actress than we think.
Yeah, she is a good little actress, and I think that she knows that, and she's gonna
Mhm.
play that to her
Mhm.
advantage. The "woe is me" card. Like, I hope she don't. And me and you could be wrong. She might end up fooling all of us and not really be that way. But it's gonna be really hard for her to not be manipulative and play that "woe is me" card
Mhm.
because of who the hell raised her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if she does not take her therapy seriously
Mhm.
and continue to go, it's going to be a downward spiral. It's going
Yep.
to be a downward spiral.
Yeah, I think she should be required to go to therapy for a while. And I don't mean once a week, 1 hour session. She needs to go to therapy 2 or 3 times a week.
Exactly.
And
For
probably
years.
more than one kind of therapist. You know what I'm saying? Like you need
Yeah.
somebody, you need some different. She needs some relationship counseling. She needs some personal counseling. She needs some. She basically needs to be retrained from the ground up. But you got to realize they'll tell you that a child's personality is formed by the time they're age 5. And if all she knew for the first 5 years of her life was lying, manipulating, cheating, and undermining,
How
I
do you
think
break away from that
exactly. I don't know that she can. I'm really concerned whether she's going to be able to successfully do that or not.
and live a normal life and not?
Mhm.
Because I'm like, yeah, I don't think she'll directly follow in Diddy's footsteps of the Monchism and, doing that like if she was to have a kid and stuff. But I do think that she would be good at pulling the "woe is me" ticket out,
Mhm.
and cashing in on that and getting remorse and getting things and kind of being manipulative with certain situations and stuff like that. So I don't know. I know only time will tell because she just got out and all we can do is just watch it unfold as we go.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't think she had enough therapy. I think she jumped way too
Mhm.
fast into
Mhm.
this marriage and even relationship with
Mhm.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Because he's not somebody that I see her with, and I know opposites attract. I always say that,
Mhm.
and you never know who people are attracted to. But I think she was just able to latch on to
Mhm.
Ryan because he was there at that moment.
Yeah. I think so
But
too. And I think, like I said,
yeah,
I don't think they have long term success.
Mm,
Because she was already after she got married to him, she's ready to get an annulment and break it off
yeah,
before she ever got out of jail. And she kept saying the phrase, I just don't know if he's going to be enough. What he's not going to be enough because
uh,
she's looking for somebody to fill that void in her that, for all her childhood that she missed, for her adolescence and teen years that she missed, for all these things that she missed out on. And like I said, I thoroughly feel bad for her for that. But at the same time, now that she's an adult, she is her mother. I really think she is her mother. And so we've got to watch that and really worry about that for her. And I think, like you said, she needed to do individual therapy and find herself before she ever tried to get in a relationship with anybody,
Yeah.
period.
That's the last thing
But
when you've been
because
through that.
I think because she was so robbed of everything for so long, I think she just wanted that. And I almost think it was another fuck you to her mom, because to her mom, she said she
Yes.
put that voodoo on me that I was
Yep.
never going to find love and I was never going to get married. And so I think it was almost like a final, like, fuck you. I did find
Yep.
love. I did get married. But she's got to realize it's not really a fuck you until she finds love, marriage, and happiness, contentment,
Yes.
And that's where it's going to be real hard for her. And like I said, I feel bad for her. So don't think when y'all, when we're saying this, that we notice these things. Maybe y'all notice it too. I just noticed that she's a product. We are what we're a product of. You know what I'm saying? So, if let's say if I was trained my whole life to rob banks, that's all I've ever known. That's that I could fall back into that very easily. No fault of my own. It's what I was taught, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying about her. She wasn't. It's no fault of hers that she's turned out like this. But the problem is she is like this because she was raised like this. So we
Yeah.
have to really be concerned with where this is going to take her.
Exactly. Exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping, I hope for Gypsy Rose that she makes it out there. Maybe this thing with her and Ryan is real. I just don't see it. And I don't wish bad luck on anybody. I don't wish bad luck on them at all. But it's just too soon. She needs to get mentally fixed and work through a lot of issues before she
Mm-hmm.
can even think about giving herself to somebody.
Yeah.
Fix you first, boo. Fix you first. If
Yeah.
he loves you, he'll wait. He'll wait.
Yeah. True. Now, what do you think about the dad and the stepmom and the stepsister or the half sister?
Um, I like the mom, the dad, and the sister. I do. Um, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, why didn't he do more? Why didn't he do this and do that?" And
Mm-hmm.
watching this, I didn't know until watching this how much she kept Gypsy away from him and was always
Mm-hmm.
moving and always on the run. But now I also say too, you're a dad, you have rights. You could have
Mm-hmm.
pushed and done investigations and dug and dug and dug and dug and not
Mm-hmm.
gave up. I do feel like that he
Mm-hmm.
could have done more than what he
Yeah.
did than to just sit there and believe every damn thing that was coming out of that woman's mouth. That's your
Well,
child.
right. Yeah. Well, that's what I say. I think what had happened was, in his eyes, he believed she was very sickly, and I think that he thought rather than transporting her from her mom's house to his house, that he kept saying, "I think her mom was doing a good job taking care of her." So I think he thought for her being disabled that maybe it was the best thing for her to be with her mom, because a lot of times kids get in a routine, and he didn't want to take her out of that. But he sees later, I should have pushed, I should have did different.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to think he was young and he probably really didn't want a kid at that age, and it just happened the way it did. I think she got pregnant intentionally to try to keep him.
Probably because they were
You know,
18.
but
They were 18 years old.
mhm, but I think the stepmom is amazing. I think she's an amazing person
Oh,
to
I
kind of
love
stand by.
her. Yeah.
I do too. And
And I
she's
love to hear
beautiful, and I
Gypsy
think
call
she's
her
a,
mom.
yeah, I do too. I do too. So I think, but I'm glad to see that both of them are wanting to help her, stand by her, give her a place
Hmm.
if she needs it. So regardless of the fact that he might not have did everything he should have done as a dad back then, because we can all fault him a little bit for that. And he says he hates it himself. I do
Yeah.
think he's done a good job at trying to stand up and be there,
I
and
think
not
so
just
too.
be absent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is one more thing that I do want to touch base on before we end this because um I'm curious to what you think, and I think you're gonna follow the same lines that I do. When she came out and talked about the shit with her grandfather. And then when they talked to him, hands down, that man is guilty.
Mhm.
The way he talked, the fidgeting in his eyes, and
Mhm.
everything that, and then to sit there and say, "Oh no, no, she would touch me." She
Mhm.
bullshit. I am calling bullshit on that.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm calling hardcore bullshit on that. I
Mhm.
think that old man did exactly what she said,
Mhm.
and he deserves every bit of fucking karma
Mhm.
that life has to offer him for doing that to her at that
Mhm.
age,
Mhm.
and just doing that in general.
Mhm. I think he did it too, but now you got to bear in mind that was Dee Dee's daddy, right?
Yep, exactly.
So I would venture to say that Dee
He
Dee
probably
might have
did it
went
to
through
her.
the same thing. Yeah, that's what I
Yep.
think. I think he was abusive to her too.
And then it makes you wonder, like, because she made the comment about, oh, this is your fault because you weren't a boy, which is what your dad wanted you to be.
Mhm.
First of all, how can she's a baby? How can she control what gender she comes out? You
Mhm.
know, like, and then it makes you wonder, because I thought the same thing. I was like, he probably did that to Dee Dee too. And that's
Mhm.
probably why she put Gypsy with him so she would get tormented like she did, kind of as like a payback. Like I feel like maybe she done that on purpose to her because she knew what that was going to entail.
Could have been. Could have been. Like I said, I think Dee Dee was a very troubled person. Very troubled to do everything she did to her.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart to see pictures of you'd see pictures of Gypsy, like she'd be in tears and you could see she was in pain and you could see, but like I said, from
Yes.
stealing her mom's drugs to stealing money and I know she was trying to escape. I get all that, but I saw that manipulation and that line come start at a very young age with her, and she did it so well. I started thinking, oh no, oh no,
Yeah. Her
um
mom taught her very well.
exactly, exactly, and I feel bad for that. But I'm glad she come out. I'm glad she told the story. I'm real concerned about the fame that's going to hit her now. We talked about that, but I wish the girl the best. I
I
really,
do
really
too.
do.
I hope that, that she don't follow in Dee Dee's footsteps and, do the lying and the manipulating, and that she can, find peace with this and realize, hey, I got a second chance. I'm
Mhm.
getting a second chance that most people don't have. I mean, hell, the prison that she was in, they had
Mhm.
access to tablets, and she got to talk to Ryan anytime she wanted to. I was like,
Mhm.
damn,
I saw that.
prisons have changed a lot. They have changed a lot. Like,
Well, that's what I say because when she woke up and called in the morning with the morning voice, I said, "What the hell? She got a phone beside the fucking bed or
right? Like,
something?"
I just woke up. Damn, okay, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, I
now I
wish her
noticed them
nothing but
taking a lot of pictures together and stuff, and I thought, "Well, they got a lot of pictures
yeah,
together tonight." I mean, it looked like it's pretty easy on her as far as that goes, which, like I said, I'm glad because you asked me about did she get the prison time. I think the reason she got that kind of prison time is because the courts and the cops seen it the way we did after we seen this thing, and that's she had more to do with it than
yeah.
we want to believe. And whether she was mentally abused or not, like you said though, it's a little different when it's truly when you're killing in self-defense and when you plot out something like that, because like I guess they saw it as you're 23, y'all went out in public from time to time, why didn't you tell anybody? And I'm like you, she was scared to. But here's what I want to say: everybody's asking why didn't she tell. Look at all the doctors and nurses and people that were suspicious. Why didn't they speak up? Why
Exactly.
didn't they do more?
Yeah.
Because they saw things that made them go but then they were like, well, we just didn't want to da da da. So why do you expect them as outside adults in the profession that they're supposed to help children, and they didn't say anything, so why would you expect
Not
her to be
one.
able to pop up and do it?
Yeah, because that one doctor, who called Child Protective
Mhm.
Service, they
Mhm.
came out and didn't, follow through. He was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I let her down," and da 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 da
Mhm.
da. Like, if you knew all this, you could have done way more than calling social service. You could have,
Mhm.
up kept it, and kept pushing and going. You could have took
Mhm.
her in and run all these tests and everything
Mhm.
on her. Like, I mean, the poor girl had a medical record of, I mean,
Mhm.
did you see the files? Like, yay high. yay
Mm-hmm.
high that she had.
I think it'd be harder to get by with something like that now because used to
Oh
it was just
yeah,
it was paper records, but now everything's electronic and
everything's
hospitals are connected to
electronic.
hospitals. So I think she'd have a harder time doing that nowadays than she did. But I kind of venture to wonder, did you find yourself wondering if she would have lived, would Gypsy still be under her thumb?
I did. I think that I feel like if that wouldn't have happened and Dee Dee was still alive, I feel like Gypsy possibly would be dead.
You
But
think so?
I feel like Dee Dee would have killed her.
Mm-hmm.
And if not by taking her to doctors and getting this done and that done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as the times, the years went on and,
Mm-hmm.
things were progressing and getting more, I guess you'd say like more high tech and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think I feel like Dee Dee probably would have just poisoned her or something because
Mm-hmm.
then she couldn't be told on. But
I
I truly feel like that Gypsy probably wouldn't be here right now if Dee Dee would have lived.
I think it would have turned into. Have you ever watched the movie Misery
Girl,
with
yes,
Kathy
I love that
Bates?
movie. Uh-huh.
Okay, so I venture to say, as Dee Dee started to lose control and feel like Gypsy was getting older and was going to get out from under control, I think she would have done things in order to make her sick, to handicap
Uh-huh.
her. You know what I'm saying? Like drug her and things like that,
Yes.
and handicap her or go in there and beat her legs until they was both broke. You know,
We're on
and
the
things like that.
same page.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
could
I think
see.
she would have done stuff like that to ensure that she stayed dependent upon her.
Did you know the series that's on Hulu about them
Mhm.
that come out first before anything years ago, a couple of years ago. And God, I can't think of the name of it. But do you know she did not authorize that? She did not give them permission on Hulu to come out with that series.
Really?
Yes, I don't know what kind of actions she's gonna take on it or what.
Hmm.
But if you hadn't seen it, you should watch it. It's like damn near replica of
Oh, yeah,
everything that's
I think I did see that on Hulu.
and I
Uh-huh.
can't remember it's one word and I can't remember the name of it, but she did not give them permission to do that. So I don't know if an outsider gave them the haps and that's how they got the story and stuff
Mm-mm.
or what happened. But yeah, she did not give them permission to release that. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that.
I thought I heard that she had went all the way through and helped them do everything, but at the end, she said she didn't want it done, but they had already had a signed thing from her, so they went ahead and did it anyway.
Oh, okay.
That's
Now my information might be misinformed and yours
well.
is correct.
Remember, if she changed her story, we don't know if we can believe it or not.
That's true. That's true. We don't know if she's telling the truth about it or not. And I
Exactly.
hate to think that because when it's weird because watching that when she was younger and like when she was sitting beside her mom and she was like, my mommy gave me this glass house and da
Mm,
da da. I was like, that just looks so fake on her part.
it did. It did.
Like your mama scripted you and you and I get it. If her mama scripted her, she's got to say it, but I
She did
don't
it a little too
know.
good. She did a little too
Yeah,
good.
a little too good. And it's
Yeah.
like, you didn't really see any fear. Like now in the hospital picture, she did look pitiful and
Mhm.
stuff like that, where, you could see the tears and the pain and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But when she was around her mama, it was just like,
Mhm. It was easy. Well, that's what I'm
yeah,
trying to say. Like it's kind of like saying, let's say you grow up and your parents give you drug and alcohol the whole time you grew up, and you are already predispositioned to be an addict. Well, them giving you drugs and alcohol just fed that addiction sooner. And you
yeah,
now become an addict, no fault of your own. You might have not ever done drugs on your own, but you were already predispositioned for it. Well, see, she's predispositioned to be a lying, manipulative person. And so her
very
mama
bad.
taught her that for 23 years. And I really am worried that is who she will be and who she'll become.
Yeah,
And so I think we've got to watch. Like I said, I think you're going to be seeing where you said she's going to have interviews on today's show and this and this and this. But I think you're going to hear the story change from time to time, and nothing's going to be consistent. Just like you said, you're going to be hearing things. You're going to be, wait a minute, she said something else before, because I really think she's going to manipulate things to work in her favor. And that
Yeah,
can, like I said, she's got to get some therapy. She's got to get some therapy.
she does, because I think if she gets therapy and sticks with it and she's honest and truthful
Mm-hmm.
with these therapists, I think she can avoid that. I think she can avoid from being like
Mm-hmm.
her mom, being crafty,
Yeah.
manipulative, and lying and turning
Yeah.
in to that person. So if she
Yeah.
gets the proper help, she can have an amazing life. She really
I think
can.
so too. I hope she can. I hope she can.
I do too. I do too. I give her props. She's went through a whole hell of a lot, and she's finally out of jail. And that's the last thing I want to see is her
Mm-hmm.
to follow into Dee Dee's footsteps, and you know, things like that. So if she keeps up with her therapy and is true to herself, I think she'll do good in life.
Now, what is your prediction on her and Ryan here at the very end? Let's go out with that. What do you predict their timeline to be?
God, okay. So when this aired, they were married for 6 months, and
Mm-hmm.
it's probably been,
Well, she's only been out of jail since December 28th, so she ain't even been out of jail a month, just a few weeks.
yeah. But when this aired, they were married for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So they've probably been married, what, almost a year maybe now?
I don't know. Let's just say from the time she got out. How long do you think from the end of December? How long do you think they'll make it from there?
I really hate to say this, but I'll be shocked if they make it a year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. My timeline will be 3 to 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a year, but 3 to 6 months, because her life is about to change,
Mm-hmm.
and Ryan is gonna see a whole different Gypsy.
Mm-hmm.
Gypsy's gonna see a whole new Gypsy.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna
Yeah.
see a whole new side. She's gonna have money and fame, and all these people are gonna come at her, and they're gonna want Gypsy. They're gonna want Gypsy, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy that she was with before, she
Mm-hmm.
was with Ryan. I mean, no, he wasn't hot, sexy, but
I thought he
he
was good looking for
good look.
her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
he was a good looking man, and then you
Yeah.
look at this one, and it's like,
Uh-huh.
dang, because I mean, not only is she gonna be dealing, with mother issues, but
Mm-hmm.
I think she's also gonna be dealing with daddy issues, as
Mm-hmm.
father issues as well,
Mm-hmm.
because even though he was young and the times were different then and stuff like that, she still liked the dad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think even though he's in her life now, and I think he'll do, move mountains and earth and all that to make
Mm-hmm.
up for it, she's still mentally going to suffer
That's
from
right.
that. So she's going to have to deal with not just Dee Dee, mama issues, but dad issues as well
Mm-hmm.
in society. Like, she's not been out in public like that. She's just been in this little, this prison,
Yeah.
seeing the same faces every day for 8 years. Like, it's a lot that she's got to take in and get help for. She's just gonna unravel at the seams.
That's right. Well, I'm like you. I give them 3 to 6 months. I was thinking anywhere between April and June, and I think they'll be
Yeah,
done.
and
That's what I
I
do.
almost kind of feel like something in my gut is telling me I wouldn't be shocked if she ended up pregnant in the next couple of
Mm-hmm.
months. And I think if she did, I don't think she'd stay with him. I don't think she would stay with him.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Mm-hmm. I think
Nope.
it'd be bye bye Ryan.
I think so too. We're on the same page. Well,
We
y'all,
are.
we hope you enjoyed this podcast. We'd like to know your thoughts and feelings about it. Did you watch this most recent series? If you didn't, maybe go watch it. Then give us some feedback on what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure you also subscribe to us on any place that you get your podcast. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of those. If you go to listen to us and you can't find us, then hit us up and let us know. Also, remember that we're doing a confession series, a settle the argument series, and we're doing an Ask Bridget and Holly. So if you have any confessions, questions, or you want us to settle the argument, send us an email at bridgetandholly@gmail.com.
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye.